think that this understanding of this now, and because people are talking about it, and then the birth of Substack and the fact that it's become very successful, and that people are flocking towards genuine independent journalists, whether they're on social media like YouTube or Twitter or Substack, or do you think that this is in many ways like changing the way young people see the possibilities? Because I think young people looking at the two options, like one, you can kind of be a hero, or two, you can kind of be a whore.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of whores. They don't seem happy. These whores seem very upset at everything, and they're always pulling their fucking hair out, and they're probably on antidepressants. And then you have these people that are like breaking stories, and it's like, oh my God, journalism is alive. It's just alive in like you know, when people travel with a fire and they have like embers and they're blowing on them and they get them to the next camp and then they could start a fire with it. That's journalism right now.
Absolutely.
It's not this raging bonfire that everybody can go get warmed. You know, the information will warm everyone. No, it's like these people have like small wooden vessels filled with embers and they're blowing on them as they run through the woods and people are fanning them to try to keep them alive. But I think for young people that are considering paths, like what to do with their future, they don't want to be contained. They want to be free. And because of social media and because of the fact that any kid can just start a YouTube page and just start talking about things.
Exactly.
And because of that kind of the ability to now do your own show, becoming independent is becoming not just more plausible but more attractive.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, the younger people have less tolerance for phoniness, or at least historically they did.
Yeah.
It's been a little weird lately. I haven't always been sure of that lately. But you know, the people who are going to go into journalism when they're 18 or 19, once upon a time, they all wanted to be Woodward and Bernstein or Cy Hirsch or Hunter Thompson or whoever it was. They just wanted to be a rule breaker, somebody who told the truth, and consequences be damned. And because that's what it's about. It's about being free and speaking your mind, right? Like, you know, what is it William Blake said? You can always be ready to speak your mind, and a base man will avoid you, right? Like that's what journalism is. Like you derive power from your willingness to say the unpopular true thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's an attractive, idealistic thing for a young person. But if they see that path closed, they're not going to go into. I mean, why would you go into journalism and try to work at the New Yorker or the MSNBC if you know you're never going to get to do that? Basically,
right.
you
right.
know.
Why would you?
But you can create your own show with almost no overhead and do the same thing and have a much bigger impact, and you'll have a bigger audience even.
Much bigger.
Right?
That's
much
what's
bigger.
nuts.
Yeah. I mean, as you know,
Yeah.
as you very well know, right? I mean, that's and these corporate media companies have been living for a long time on their name and on the memory of the prestige that their names inspired. But if they actually had to sell how much reach they had now, they wouldn't have much to talk about, right? Like their audiences are shrinking, their influence is very, very small, and you know, the jobs that they're offering are just less and less exciting for like young people.
We were talking about CNN, like how does CNN even keep the lights on? They have an enormous building in Atlanta, giant CNN sign on the front of it, and
Right.
they get terrible ratings.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And they have so many people working there. You have a whole giant building filled with people, and then your product, no one wants it.
Yeah.
Like people are just accidentally watching it, flipping through the channels they're watching it. Like there's nothing compelling that they have to offer, yet they are in the business of selling compelling information. You're literally the most compelling thing because the news is supposed to be one of the most compelling things. Everybody traditionally would come home and watch the evening news because you need to know what the fuck is going on in the world. But now, because of social media and because of just websites and phones and just news off your apps, the different apps that people use, Google apps, no one cares anymore. So you're just howling into the wind.
It's something. It's background you see at an airport, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. They have a huge building in New York too. The Time Warner Center and
bizarre.
And they're not even in the top 20, I think, of cable news shows anymore, right? So and then look what happened with CNN Plus. I mean, they went and they hired Chris Wallace, and they were going to launch this big subscription service, CNN Plus, where I guess the idea was they were going to get people to pay to watch the same stuff they were already refusing to watch for free. Then they had to cancel the service after 3 weeks.
Yeah, they spent hundreds of millions of dollars on it.
I mean, how could they have not seen that?
How could they think that people wanted to pay for something that they don't like for free?
Yeah, I don't know. But the what's clear is that they don't have any conception of where the way out is for them, right?
Well, they're like Blockbuster Video. There's no way out.